Hey second grade, today we are going to be looking at the area of polygons. Before we get into polygons though, we need to review what area is and how we can find it. So, area is the amount of surface inside a shape. That means if I've got this rectangle right here, the area is going to be the amount inside this whole rectangle. The way that we measure area is by using square units, okay? That is super duper important for you to remember, square units. So whether you are measuring in centimeters or inches, your answer is always going to be square centimeters or square inches, sorry. Okay, so I see that this rectangle was measured in inches. I see that we've got 6 inches for the long side and then 3 inches for the short side right here. These are two ways that you can find area for an object, okay? You could either sit there and count each square inside the object, and that's fine, you can totally do that, but a faster way is that you could multiply. And hey, you know how to multiply. You got this. So you would multiply the length of your shape times the width of your shape. So I know that the length of my shape is 6 inches. I'm going to multiply that by the width. I see that the width is 3 inches. So, what is 6 times 3? If you need to pause the video to figure that out, go ahead and do that. 6 times 3 is 18. And I would write my answer as 18 square inches. And I'm going to abbreviate that. 18 square inches. Okay, now let's look at polygons and some of their attributes. Polygons must have 3 or more lines. They must have straight lines. And they must be closed shapes. These objects are examples of polygons because they follow the attributes that we looked at before. These objects are not polygons. Notice how some of them do not have 3 or more lines or straight lines, and they are open shapes. For some polygons, it is really easy to find the area. For example, if your polygon looks like this rectangle here, or like this cross down here, all you have to do is count those squares inside of the polygon to know what the area is. For example, in this rectangle, you would just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I know that the area for this rectangle would be 6 square centimeters. I will say that we are measuring in centimeters. Same for this cross down here. You would just have to count the squares inside this polygon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 square centimeters. It gets a little more complicated when you are looking at polygons like this figure up here or like this pentagon down here. Here is a trick that you can use. When you are looking for the area of a polygon that does not fill the whole square like this here, here is the trick. If it is more than half of the square, do you see how this little tip here is filling more than half of that square? Then you are going to count it as a full square. Now, if it is less than half of a square, just like this little tiny triangle up here, then you would not count it as a whole square. So let's see. What is the area of this polygon if I am counting full squares? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to count this one because it's more than half, so 5. This one is also more than half, so 6. This one is also more than half, so I will say there are 7 square centimeters. Notice how I did not count this square down here, and I did not count this one either, because they do not fill more than half of that square. Now to complete page 248 and 249 in your math journal, you are going to need these instructions. They say trace your partner's hand, or just trace your own hand, onto your journal on page 248. When your hand is traced, keep your fingers close together. Okay, you're not going to have your hand wide open. Your fingers are going to be close together. Count the number of whole square centimeters inside your handprint. If more than half of a square centimeter is inside your handprint, count the whole square, just like we did earlier with that pentagon I was showing you. If less than half of a square centimeter is inside your handprint, do not count the square. Record the area of your handprint at the bottom of that page. So then you are going to do the same thing, except for with your foot on page 249. And I am going to leave the directions up here so that you can read them if you need to read them again.